Hey there YouTube, FrankieWuzHere here. Strength takes forever to level up. If you don't know what you're doing, that is. There are two main ways to train strength. The first is walking when encumbered, while carrying another unit. The second is through combat. Unlike attack, strength experience is not given an experience multiplier for fighting when outnumbered, and is not impacted by stronger opponent logic. That being said though, you do still benefit when facing multiple opponents at once, as that increases the potential targets you'll hit per swing. We all know that you gain strength XP when walking while encumbered, and that experience is doubled when carrying another unit. But did you know that you can keep that double experience bonus without actively carrying somebody? Well, kind of. Like I do in this recording, pick up a corpse, walk a decent distance away from where you picked it up at, then save and load the game. If you went far enough, the corpse will despawn, but the bonus will stay until either you pick up a new unit or picked up yourself. That means one less thing we need to focus on. You can even take off all your limbs if you want to, and crawl around when strength training. If you happen to be struggling to find some stackable heavy items to encumber your character with, you can use this neat little trick I learned from my buddy Jedi. Get an animal backpack, drop the bag on the ground, hold down click on it, and select loot. Doing so will allow you to interact with the bag to fill it up with whatever you want to put into it. By holding down shift and clicking on the ground, or map, you can queue up multiple movement commands. Meaning if you go to a safe zone, like let's say Raptor Island, nothing is stopping you from going AFK for ages, especially if you're crawling. Now let's cover combat. I like to use samurai armor, with a 15% damage reduction. Unfortunately, hive worker drones can't wear a crab helmet, so you'll have to use a samurai helmet if you're playing as one. Weapon-wise, you just can't beat a fragment axe, due to its high strength requirement and massive reach. Remember not to starve your character too much, as it does reduce your movement speed by quite a lot. Your stats don't need to be insanely high to strength train in combat. However, I would highly recommend 90 to 95 toughness. Depending on the opponents that you train on, you'll want to have at least around 60 to 90 combat stats. The higher the better. Now let's cover blocking. Block training strength is slightly faster than walking around, at least the way I do it. Find a group of big things, activate block, and that's literally it. Due to the heavy armor you're wearing, as well as your toughness, you'll take an extremely small amount of damage when you do happen to be hit. In fact, in many cases, you can bandage yourself up before you're even hit again. Starving yourself isn't needed for this method. I only did it here, that way I could show off the fact that you can take food out of your bag to eat. You just need to issue any command to your character to get them to eat mid-combat. Now let's move on to the fastest way to train strength. Pump the population sliders all the way to the max, and go berserk. Attack anything and everything. You can fight raptors on Raptor Island, baby crabs in Howler's Maze, blood spiders in the Burning Forest, shrieking bandits inside the Shrieking Forest, bulls in Skinner's Row, starving bandits in Skinner's Row. Heck, if you're okay with a little bit of cheese, place down a small shack on top of your character, which will cause smaller humanoid enemies to rush inside, sometimes animals too, clumping around you even more. I developed this trick after learning about some creative ways to use building blueprints from a fellow guide maker named Twisted Logic Gaming. Maybe that's too slow for you. Well then, you could always just make a building right next to any hostile raiding faction. Activate hold, and once they show up, invite them inside. Standing by interior walls will help clump your guests closer together, as well as separate your characters if you want to train multiple of them at once. The reason we want to use hold is it often allows characters to attack, even if their target is behind an object, like an interior wall. If you happen to get pushed outside, which will happen quite often, just run back in and keep going. Nearly every faction, other than the Shek Kingdom and anti-slavers, as they hit pretty hard, make great training partners. When I say all, I do mean all. Say you accidentally murder Tengu. Whoops. Now Igor's at your door. Although he is an absolute unit, the army that he brings along with him is pathetic. Like before, fight them between some interior walls, or on a staircase if you'd like. I would like to add though, unless you have a really good computer, I suggest you do not max the population for this raid. Don't get me wrong, the experience is solid, but having over 1,000 units loaded in will lag the game like crazy. Half the NPCs don't even know how to respond to the lag, and just sit there staring into the void. The same goes for your character, to a less extreme degree. Now you might be thinking, Frankie, you just covered a raid which has so many units that your game lags like crazy, but you didn't go from 40 to 60 strength in 8.5 game hours. Did you clickbait me? See, I want to do a light level chuckle here, but my noise gate's not allowing me, so just imagine I did. No. The main thing I wanted to get across is the fact that you can strength train anywhere. That being said though, I saved the best for last. What good is 1,000 potential targets if you're slowed down by lag, and can't even hit a measly dozen or two per swing? Welcome to Cattun's Exile. Inside of the first dome, you'll find 360 Storm Thralls. As we've done earlier, activate hold, make your way into the dome. Move the camera so that way the screen stays viewing the bottom floor, and then run to the top of the stairs on that floor. You'll be moved around a lot when fighting here, but that's fine. You'll only need to run back to the location if you ever happen to hit, let's say, less than 10 enemies per swing. Or if you happen to be clipped downstairs, causing your character to stop attacking. Throughout this guide, I've been playing a Scorch Slender, which does receive 10% less strength XP. Of course, if I played as a Shek, I would level strength a decent bit faster. But then I would have to play as a Shek, so yeah, no thanks. If you want to train here for extended periods of time, bring some repair kits, or loot some from the top floor, and place them into the inventory of any thralls you happen to knock out. They do lack heads, so they aren't the best at robotics. However, it will help them prevent their injuries from worsening, as they will repair each other whenever you have to take a break to heal. And, thanks to their 3.0 heal rate, they get up pretty quickly as well. There you have it, the title. But you may be wondering, what level would your strength be after the same amount of time if you're blocking or walking? Or maybe you're a fan of the weightlifting mod. Well, you're in luck. I recorded a video starting at level 40.03 strength for all three. I'll speed them up equally as well, and then pause them once 8 hours and 32 minutes of game time have passed. Cattun's Exile is more of a solo training location. That being said though, you can always just AFK against starving bandits in Skinner's Row. It obviously won't be as fast, but you can do it with multiple characters at one time, checking in on them every so often to ensure that they eat and bandage. Alright, I know it took a while, but I hope it was worth the wait. And well, with this guide finished, I can work on other ones. Maybe a Breaking Kenshi video for martial arts and strength. Ever see a character level their martial arts from 1 to 94 in a game day? Well, you will when I get around to it. And hey, thank you for watching.